Welcome back. So last class we have discussed about Schrodinger wave equation, time independent Schrodinger wave equation. So we were at the equation dou square by dou x square of psi that is equal to minus 4 pi square divided by lambda square into psi. So I call this equation as 2, right? So this equation can be written again as dou square by dou x square of psi is equal plus 4 pi square by lambda square of psi is equal to 0. So then according to de Broglie hypothesis, according to de Broglie hypothesis, so I know that the body which possesses a mass with velocity, then it should possess a wavelength that is equal to lambda is equal to h by mv. Alright, so from this equation we can substitute lambda value in the above equation, right? So that lambda becomes lambda is equal to h by mv. So that second equation becomes dou square by dou x square of psi plus 4 pi square divided by lambda. What is lambda value? That is h square and m square v square of psi that is equal to 0. So this is the what equation in terms of mass and velocity that a wave function will interact with energy, right? So this is another form. Then next, this as when we got that wave function interacts with a velocity and mass, right? Then we can relate this psi with the energy also. So that psi how that interacts with the energy functions. That is total energy. Let our total energy be E, and kinetic energy K, right? Then potential energy is given by potential energy is given by V, right? From these three, by energy conservation, we can write as E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. That is nothing but E is equal to KE plus V, right? So here we can extract kinetic energy from this equation. Kinetic energy is equal to total energy minus potential energy. As we know that kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square, right? Half mv square is equal to total energy minus potential energy. From this half mv square we can extract that is mv square that is equal to 2 times of total energy minus potential energy, right? Then if you multiply this equation on both sides by m, then we get that one as m square v square that is equal to 2m of E minus V, right? If you substitute this equation or this value of m square v square in the above equation that we have got in terms of velocity and mass, that we get as dou square psi by dou x square plus 8 pi square m divided by h square into E minus V of psi that is equal to 0. So this is called as one-dimensional time independent Schrodinger wave equation. So let us call this equation as 3. So this is the standard formula for Schrodinger time independent wave equation in one dimension, as this only function is dependent on only x, so that is only one dimension. This is for one dimension Schrodinger time independent equation, right? Then for 3 dimension, this same equation can be written as, for 3 dimension same equation can be written as dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m divided by h square into e minus v of psi that is equal to 0. So this equation tells about how that psi wave function or a state function, it tells it interacts with energy with space, that is nothing but coordinate space coordinates, that is x, y and z, that is in 3 dimension, right? So this equation can be once again written as del square psi plus 8 pi square m by h square into e minus v of psi that is equal to 0. So where this del square is given by dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. So this equation can be simplified as the above equation. This is for 3-dimensional time independent Schrodinger wave equation. So now if the particle which is moving in wave motion, or as we apply wave equation for that one, so if this particle is free, if the particle is free, we get potential energy of this one will be equal to 0. Potential energy of this one will be equal to 0. Then what we get? The Schrodinger equation becomes del square psi plus 8 pi square m divided by h square e minus 0 of psi is that is equal to 0. That can be written as del square psi plus 8 pi square m divided by h square of e of psi that is equal to 0. So this is a Schrodinger wave equation for a free particle which is moving in 3-dimensional space. So this is very important equation. So this equation tells about how that wave function, state function, that psi interacts with the energy. That psi, how it interacts with energy, that can be given from this equation, right? So that's why we call this psi as a amplitude or a displacement vector. Displacement vector means how it is moving with a space, that is nothing but x, y, z. Then how its mass will change, how its velocity changes, how its total energy changes, and how its momentum changes. So this same equation, above equation, can be written again in terms of momentum also. That as we have derived there, m square v square is equal to, we have taken 2m times of e minus v, right? So this m square v square is nothing but p square. That can be p square divided by 2m, that is equal to kinetic energy, and once again that is equal to e minus v. We can express that whole Schrodinger equation in terms of momentum also. So if you express that expression in terms of momentum, then we get as we had here, see, what is that equation? 4 pi square by h square m square v square, right? So this if you replace m square v square by p square, that what we get is for 3-dimension only, that is del square psi plus 4 pi square divided by h square p square into psi that is equal to 0. This equation is in terms of momentum. As we know that p by h, h by p is nothing but lambda, so that lambda is replaced in terms of momentum. So this is the relation between wave function and momentum, right? So now from this Schrodinger equation we got to know about the how function will interact with matter. As we are studying about quantum mechanics, this quantum mechanics means it's the study of small things, right? Study of small things means those how microscopic particles, how they interact with energy is our aim. So that we need to study, right? So this equation is only dependent on space coordinates, right? Dependent on space coordinates. Space coordinates, that is nothing but x, y and z in 3-dimension. It is not dependent on any time dependency is not there, right? See this equation, you can observe this psi is the only function of x, y, z, as we are taking a second derivative of psi, so it is only dependent on space. There is no time dependency in this equation. That's why this equation is called as time independent. So here, see, as this small particle will move with some energy, that is nothing but total energy E and potential energy V and kinetic energy K we have taken. So to relate this wave function with this kinetic energy and total energy, we have taken the concept of de Broglie. That is nothing but every particle which possesses mass and velocity, it should possess a wavelength. So it is even applicable for macroscopic particles also, but we can't see that variation of wavelength in the earth coordinate motion of the bodies, right? So next class we'll discuss about how this psi will dependent on time. This, as we know, that psi is equal to psi naught e power minus I omega t, we know. So this is only time variation of the psi function. If you write this psi variation with respect to position, that we get psi is equal to psi naught e power I k x minus omega t, where k is a wave vector, and this x is nothing but a position. So that's why we write psi as a x of t if it is dependent on both space and time. If it is dependent on both space and time, we write that wave function as psi is a function of x and time. Then if it is only time independent, we write that wave function as psi of x comma 0 at t is equal to 0. Where is that function? Because it is time t is equal to 0 means it is not dependent on the time now, right? So this wave function tells about how that particle, where is it exactly at time t is equal to 0 and at time t is equal to certain time t, and how that wave function will interact with energy. So that is the aim of this wave mechanics. This is time independent. If it is time dependent only, then we write that one as psi of 0 comma t, where it is at x is equal to 0. If it is dependent on both, we write that one as psi of x comma t, right? Okay, we'll see you in next class. Thank you.